The old house loomed, shrouded in mist and shadow, a silent sentinel of forgotten times. A monument to generations past, untouched by time, it stood as a testament to the lives that once thrived within its walls. It stood alone, on a hill overlooking the town, whispering tales of grandeur and decay, a silent witness to the passage of years.
I had inherited the house, a relic of my family's storied past. Never sold, always passed down, it now belonged to me. A legacy I was both proud and apprehensive to embrace.
John, a young man with a thirst for understanding his roots, pushed open the creaking door, stepping into the darkness within, feeling the weight of history on his shoulders. Dust motes danced in the slivers of light that pierced the gloom, creating an ethereal atmosphere that seemed almost otherworldly. The air hung heavy, thick with the silence of ages, as if the house itself was holding its breath, waiting for something. John ran a hand along the cold, damp stone wall. It felt strangely alive, as if the house was responding to his touch. A shiver ran down his spine. He shook off the feeling, attributing it to the chill, but a sense of unease lingered. He ventured further, his footsteps echoing in the vast emptiness, each step a reminder of the solitude that enveloped him. Each room was a portrait of neglect, frozen in time, filled with memories of a bygone era. The house held its breath, watching him as if it had a consciousness of its own.
As the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows, I found myself drawn to the library, a place that seemed to hold the secrets of the house. The scent of decay and forgotten knowledge hung heavy in the air, mingling with the dust and the memories of those who had come before.
He ran his fingers along the spines of leather-bound books, their titles barely visible in the fading light, each one a potential key to the past. A whisper, soft and indistinct, brushed against his ear. He turned sharply, heart pounding, the sound echoing in the silence. But the room was empty, the whisper seemingly a figment of his imagination.
It must be a trick of the wind, I told myself, trying to calm my racing heart.
But as he turned back to the bookshelves, the whisper came again, clearer this time, colder, sending a chill down his spine.
You've come back. The words hung in the air, heavy with meaning and mystery, as if the house itself was speaking to him.
The voice, raspy and chilling, sent shivers down John's spine. He spun around, searching for the source, but the room remained stubbornly silent. Unease prickled at the back of his neck. His every instinct screamed at him to flee.
I tried to rationalize the voice, attributing it to the house settling, to the wind whistling through cracks. But deep down, a seed of dread had been sown.
As days turned into nights, the whispers became a constant presence. They seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, weaving their way into his dreams, haunting his waking hours. They spoke of his ancestors, painting a picture of a family steeped in darkness and secrets.
Their sins will become your burden.
John tried to ignore them, to block out the insidious whispers that wormed their way into his mind. John delved deeper into his family's history, each dusty document revealing a new layer of darkness. The more he uncovered, the more he felt the weight of his ancestors' actions pressing down on him, as if the very air around him grew heavier with each revelation. He discovered tales of greed, betrayal, and a ruthlessness that chilled him to the bone. These were not just stories, they were the very fabric of his lineage, woven with threads of malice and ambition. The sins of the past seemed to reach out, trying to ensnare him in their web. The whispers seemed to feed off his discoveries, growing louder, more insistent. They were not just echoes of the past, but living entities, feeding on his fear and confusion. Each night, as he tried to sleep, the voices would invade his mind, turning his dreams into nightmares.
They spoke of a hidden chamber, a place where the family's darkest secrets were kept locked away. This chamber was more than just a room. It was a vault of horrors, a repository of the family's most malevolent deeds. The whispers hinted at the power and danger contained within.
Driven by an insatiable curiosity and a growing sense of dread, John began searching for this hidden chamber. His days were consumed by the hunt, his nights by the whispers. He felt as if he was being guided by an unseen hand, pushing him towards a destiny he could not escape. He tapped on walls, pried at loose floorboards, searching for any sign of the room the voices hinted at. Every creak and groan of the old house seemed to mock him, as if the very structure was alive and aware of his quest. His frustration grew with each dead end, but so did his determination. He felt an unnerving connection to his ancestors, their darkness seeping into him, their sins becoming his own. The faces in the portraits seemed to watch him, their eyes following his every move. He could almost hear their voices, whispering secrets and warnings, urging him to continue and to stop all at once. Each whisper was a drop of poison, slowly seeping into his soul. They spoke of power, of vengeance, of a legacy that could not be denied. John felt himself being pulled deeper into the abyss, his own identity slowly being eroded by the weight of his family's past. He felt his sanity teetering on the brink as the line between the whispers and his own thoughts blurred. The distinction between reality and nightmare became increasingly difficult to discern. His mind was a battleground, the whispers relentless in their assault, leaving him exhausted and on edge.
I began to see shadows lurking at the edge of my vision, to feel the ghostly touch of unseen hands on my shoulders. These apparitions were not just figments of my imagination, they were manifestations of the past, reaching out to claim me. The shadows seemed to move with a purpose, their intentions unclear but undoubtedly sinister. Sleep offered no escape, my dreams haunted by the tormented faces of my ancestors, their eyes pleading, accusing. They seemed to demand something from me, a resolution to the sins they had committed. Each night their faces grew clearer, their voices louder, until I could no longer distinguish between my dreams and my waking hours. The legacy of my family was a burden I could not escape, a curse that had been passed down through generations, now resting heavily on my shoulders.
Section 4. The voices grow stronger.
The whispers. They were no longer content with mere whispers.
They became voices, distinct and demanding, echoing through the halls of the old house.
They taunted me, revealing fragments of a horrifying truth about my lineage.
They spoke of a blood pact, a deal struck with an ancient malevolent entity.
John felt a growing sense of despair.
I was trapped in a nightmare, haunted by the sins of my forefathers.
He considered fleeing the house, leaving behind the whispers and the secrets they held.
But something held me captive, an invisible tether that bound me to this cursed place.
The voices grew more insistent, urging him towards the hidden chamber.
They promised him answers, a chance to break the curse that plagued his family.
But their promises rang hollow, laced with a chilling malice that sent shivers down his spine.
I knew I was walking a dangerous path, one that could lead to my salvation or my utter destruction, but I felt powerless to resist their pull.
Section 5. The Hidden Chamber. This part of the house had always been shrouded in mystery, a place spoken of in hushed tones and fearful whispers. It was a place where the past lingered and secrets lay buried beneath layers of time.
Guided by the insistent voices, I discovered the entrance to the hidden chamber. The voices seemed to grow louder, more urgent, as if they were guiding me to a long-forgotten truth. My heart raced with a mix of fear and curiosity.
It was concealed behind a large tapestry in the library, its presence masked by years of dust and decay. The tapestry depicted a scene of ancient battles, its colors faded and threads frayed, a silent guardian of the secrets it hid.
I pushed the tapestry aside, revealing a narrow stone staircase leading down into the depths of the house. The steps were worn and uneven, each one a testament to the countless feet that had trodden this path before me.
The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of mildew and something ancient and unholy. It was as if the very walls exhaled a breath of forgotten times, a reminder of the dark history that lay within.
A single flickering lantern illuminated the stairs, casting grotesque shadows that danced and writhed on the damp stone walls. The light seemed to struggle against the darkness, creating an eerie play of light and shadow.
John hesitated, a tremor of fear running through him. The weight of the unknown pressed down on him, and for a moment he considered turning back. But the pull of the chamber was too strong, an invisible force drawing him onward.
I knew I was crossing a line, venturing into a place where darkness reigned supreme. It was a threshold that once crossed, there would be no turning back. The air seemed to hum with a sinister energy, as if the chamber itself was alive.
But the voices urged him onward, their tone a mixture of eagerness and malice. They whispered promises of revelations and threats of doom, a haunting symphony that echoed through the corridor.
I took a deep breath and descended into the unknown. Each step felt like a journey into the past, a descent into the very heart of the house's darkest secrets.
The steps were cold and damp beneath his feet, each one taking him further from the world he knew and deeper into the heart of his family's darkness. The walls seemed to close in around him, the air growing colder with each step.
The air grew thick with anticipation, crackling with unseen energy. It was as if the very atmosphere was charged with the weight of the secrets it held, a palpable tension that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end.
John pressed on, his heart pounding in his chest, drawn deeper into the abyss by the whispers that echoed around him. Each step was a battle against the fear that threatened to overwhelm him, but the promise of uncovering the truth kept him moving forward.